Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a foundation first impression and wear test on the Colourpop No Filter Foundation. I have 3 shades right here, so hopefully I have a good shade match. But if you would like to see a review and a 10-hour wear test, please keep watching. So like I said, I have 3 shades. Now, I'm not gonna lie. The swatches on Colourpop's website look totally different than what the shades look like in person, in my opinion. The closest shade match that I can see is probably this one, which is Light 60, and this is probably my shade for when I'm more fair, so probably like the winter time here in about a month or 2 or 3. But this one right here, which is medium 105, it looks fairly, I don't know, it looks different in the monitor than it does in person. Like in person it looks like it's like kind of orangey looking, and then I have this one which is Fair 05. So if anything, I'll just use this to lighten up foundations, because this by itself, even when I'm my palest, probably won't work for me. So the way they have it set up on their website is you can put in your skin tone. So you can pick from fair, light, medium, medium dark, dark, and deep dark. Then you can also select the undertone, which is neutral, warm, or cool. So I picked neutral undertones for all 3, and to me they don't even look like that. So it's kind of deceiving in my opinion, because when I pick foundations, minus when I have a tan in the summertime, I don't mind using like a warm undertone foundation with like a kind of warm yellow undertone concealer. But when I'm like this shade right now, or my lightest shade, which is in the winter time, I prefer something that's more cool or neutral undertone. I just think that looks better on my skin. Like yellow undertone things just don't look really, they don't look that great on me unless I have a tan. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep my skin. Look, I'm wearing an 80s Guns N' Roses graphic tee, and I feel like I have like 80s big hair. So I'm going to go ahead and prep my skin, and then I will read you guys some information about this foundation. My skin has been feeling pretty dry the last couple of days, probably because it's getting colder outside. So I'm going to go in with my NYX Honey Dew Me Up primer first. I love this. It makes my skin feel really hydrated, and I like how it has like a spatula on it as well. I probably should have swatched the foundation on my face before I applied primer. Oh well. And then for some extra hydration, I'm going to be going in with my e.l.f. Illuminating Primer Mist on top. Okay, so while that sinks in, I'm going to be reading you guys some information. So, I'm on the Colourpop website. This retails for $12. And then it says, our oil-free buildable full coverage foundation was formulated with soft blurring pigments to give you a natural matte finish. No filter needed. And like I said, I do have dry skin, so we'll see how that goes. Some matte foundations do work for my dry skin. Probably like, there's probably 3 good ones that actually work for my dry skin. Not all of them do, that's for sure. But this is rated 4 stars out of 1,975 reviews. It's vegan and cruelty-free. And this foundation comes in 42 shades. It says, developed for the selfie age, our buildable full coverage natural matte foundation delivers flawless looking skin from day to night. The oil-free lightweight formula blends smoothly and is easily customizable to create the coverage you want. Build it up or sheer it out. It was developed with innovative soft blurring pigments to deliver true color while looking and feeling natural. The lockable pump is easy to use and keeps your routine mess free. And you get 0.85 full ounces. Application tips: starting in the center of the face, blend foundation outwards. For maximum coverage, use a large foundation brush, medium foundation brush, or flat kabuki brush. For medium coverage, use a duo fiber brush. I don't think I've ever used a duo fiber brush for foundation. Small duo fiber brush or a blending sponge, build it up and apply another layer for more coverage. Then it says, apply no filter concealer to brighten under eyes or cover blemishes and uneven skin tone. Set with no filter loose setting powder or filter sheer matte pressed powder, which I actually do have the no filter concealer, and I think I have the powder too. So maybe we'll just go ahead. I mean, I have already tried the concealer and I think I've tried the powder, but in separate videos, but I'm gonna go ahead and do this whole line. I mean, might as well, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and be doing a wear test on the no filter foundation, which I have not tried, the no filter concealer and the no filter powder. I mean, might as well. So I went ahead and pulled out the concealer, the loose powder, and then I have the two press powders, which now that I think about it, I don't think I've tried the powders. This one, let's see. Yeah, I haven't even tried the loose powder. And let me see if I've tried this. I mean, it doesn't look like I've tried the press powder either. Yeah, I don't think so. So yeah, so this will be a first impression on these things as well. I have tried the concealer and it's not my favorite. It's not bad, but it's not my favorite. I have two shades right here. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna tell you guys the shades that I have. I think if I hold them back here, you'll be able to see the shades better. So this lightest one over here is Fair 05. The middle shade right here is Light 60. And then the darkest shade I have is Medium 105. So I think I'm gonna end up mixing Light 60 with Medium 105 because I think I'm like in between. So let's just see what they say the undertones of these are, because I feel like mine are totally off. So for Fair 05, it's the lightest shade they offer, and this is neutral foundation with subtle yellow undertones for very fair skin tones. I'm so confused. I told you guys, like, I feel like the ones I picked out, I know I got like neutral or cool undertones, and then they're not. So I don't, you guys, I don't even know. Then I have Light 60, so let's see what that one is. Light 60 says neutral foundation with peachy undertones for light skin tones. I guess I can see a little bit of peachy. I mean, out of all of them, this one looks the more like neutral undertone to me, but I guess not. So let's see what the last one is. And then Medium 105 is a cool foundation with peachy undertones for medium skin tones. So apparently this is supposed to have a cool undertone. It just doesn't look like that to me. So I guess that means then, yeah, so I guess I did pick neutral undertones for these guys right here, but to me they just don't look like it. I don't know. So I'm going to do one side with a brush and one side with a sponge, and I'm going to be using a damp beauty blender on this side. So I'm just going to take one pump of Medium 105 on the back of my hand. I do like that there is a pump. I wish there was a lid, but it does look really runny. Then I'm going to do one pump of Light 60. I'm going to do 2 pumps of Light 60 actually. Okay, it's extremely runny. I might actually have to add some of the I'm just going to add 1 pump of Fair 05 too. Might as well. I have 3 shades. If I end up liking this foundation, that lightest shade might be really good to lighten up my other foundations. Okay, so now that we have all 3 on the back of my hand, let's hope that it works. Alright, let's go. Oh, what is that? It looks like I have self-tanner on my face. That's weird. So, mixing all 3 actually doesn't look that bad. It does feel really lightweight. That's probably why it's so runny. I feel like I'm getting like decent coverage too. I did say full. Actually, the shade match isn't terrible after using all 3. Like I still have like a lingering kind of tan left over from the summer, and it's already, Thanksgiving is in like 2 weeks. So it's like everything from the neck down still has a tan, but everything from the neck up doesn't. So I've been using like this Drunk Elephant Deep Bronzy, I think is what it is, mixed in with my moisturizer, just to try to make my face kind of like the same shade as my body. So I'm like all different shades right now. I do feel like this foundation is oxidizing a little bit. I think it looks nice with the sponge, and I think it's building up to full coverage with the sponge, even though it said if you wanted full coverage to use a brush, but I feel like you could totally get full coverage with the sponge because I feel like I am. So that's what my skin looks like, and I still have quite a bit, so might as well just take the rest of it and just build it up. Normally I go for like a medium coverage and a full coverage concealer, but you know what? Today I'm going for full coverage. So I think that looks pretty good. I feel like I heard a lot of mixed reviews on this foundation. Like a lot of people didn't like it, but I mean, so far so good. I like it. I did use the more moisturizing primer, so I feel like to me I'm getting more of a natural, almost kind of like dewy finish, which I'm totally okay with. So I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to do one, did I do 2 pumps this one? I can't remember. I think I did. Okay. So I'm just going to do 1 pump of the fair, 1 pump of the medium, and 2 pumps of the light. And then apply it to this side. I'm using my Tarte foundation brush. Not a big fan of the brush application, although I feel like with just one swipe I already have more coverage than I do with the sponge sides, so you could probably use less product and just use a brush and get full coverage. But I think I like the finish of the sponge side more than the brush side. But if you want to get your money's worth, I would definitely apply with a brush because you can use less product. Because look, I have so much left and I used all of it on this side, and this already has more coverage. So I'm just going to go over everything with my sponge because I like how it looks better with the sponge. I feel like this side of my face is lighter than this side. I mean, so far I like this foundation. I honestly didn't think I would because I feel like I do remember hearing more negative reviews than positive, and like, if I'm being honest, I haven't heard anybody talk about this foundation pretty much since it launched, and I feel like it launched like what, like a year or so ago, maybe even 2 years ago, and I haven't heard anybody talk about it, or I haven't seen it in a video or anything at all recently. So this is what my skin looks like with a shit ton of foundation. But I definitely got full coverage. It feels lightweight, like it doesn't feel like anything is on my skin at all. So I do really like that. Normally when everybody hates something, it works out for me. So then moving on to the concealers, I have the shade Light 14 and Fair 5. So I'll probably just end up mixing both of them. So I'll go ahead and read some information about the concealer as well. Like I said, I have tried it. I don't use it all the time. And honestly, I can't even remember if I like it or hate it. So I'm just going to assume that it's not my favorite because I haven't used it in a while. So this is the No Filter Matte Full Coverage Concealer. This retails for $6.50. This concealer comes in 30 shades. It says our full coverage concealer was formulated with soft blurring pigments to give you a crease-proof matte finish, no filter needed. This is almost 5 stars out of 3,475 people. It says instantly conceal, cover, correct, and contour with this long-wearing full coverage natural matte concealer. The lightweight blendable formula applies smoothly and seamlessly, covers dark circles, blemishes, redness, discoloration with one swipe. It's cruelty-free, vegan formula. It says it's infused with marine extracts to hydrate and protect delicate under eyes, while the soft blurring pigment technology delivers a flawless complexion that lasts all day. And then it just says application tips, use a sponge or brush or fingers. So let's see what shades I have. So Fair 5. Oh, I actually thought I had the lightest one, but I guess not. I don't even see Fair 5 listed here. It just goes from Fair 4 to Fair 6. See if they have the Light 14. Light 14 previously known as Light Neutral 15, says it's a neutral cool concealer for light skin tones. So I am just going to mix these two. So I'm going to go in with Light 14 first. And I really like these applicators for concealer. They're just like flat doe foots. And I stopped highlighting my chin because I feel like in pictures, if I highlight my chin, I feel like it just makes it look wider and bigger, so I quit doing that. Now I'm going in with Fair 5. So on top of that, it's actually not much lighter than the other one. And I'm going to use my Morphe G38. I tell myself too every time I sit down to do my makeup that I'm going to stop using so much concealer, and I feel like I still use a lot. I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm super heavy-handed with concealer and blush. I don't know. Like I said, I couldn't remember what I really thought of this concealer, but I mean, I like it now, so I don't know. I feel like sometimes when I use things, I'm like, and then I'll go back and use them like a couple months later, and then I'll totally change my mind. I don't know, it's so weird. But maybe I don't mind this concealer now because I'm using it with the matching foundation. That could be it too. Did say it was creaseless, which I don't know if I necessarily believe, but we'll find out. Okay, now I really like this concealer. It must be because, you know, like when they make matching concealers to go with foundations, like they're obviously made to go together. And I think the foundation and this concealer look amazing. And before, I've only ever used this concealer with other foundations, like other brands of foundations, and I wasn't like amazed by it, but this looks really nice. So this is what my skin looks like with the foundation and concealer. So I do want to let this concealer just kind of set for a little bit and see if it really is creaseless. So while I'm waiting for that, I am going to do a little bit of cream contouring. I feel like my nose contour only looks good if I use cream. It always looks all weird if I try to use powder. I swear I've been trying to use this up since it first came out and they don't even sell it anymore. But this is the Colourpop Sculpting Stick in the shade New Renaissance. Alright, I'm going to see if this concealer creased. I mean, definitely creased on my eyelids, that's for sure. But as for my under eyes, it only creased like right on my lower lash line. But I mean, look, it did crease on my eyelids. So I guess we'll use the loose powder to set my under eyes. So I'm just going to look up some information on this. So this is the No Filter Loose Setting Powder. It retails for $9. I have the shade Translucent. It says it's recommended for fair, light, medium, and medium dark skin tones. There are 3 shades of this. It says smooth, weightless loose powder sets makeup for all day wear without creasing, caking, or flashback. It has 4.5 stars out of 887 reviews. It says lock in makeup with our translucent, weightless loose setting powder developed with ultrafine smooth powders to provide a long wearing, soft focused matte finish without feeling heavy or looking cakey. Always 100% cruelty free. It says the formula is photo tested to never flashback, giving you a selfie ready skin on any light. In any light. It says application tips to set foundation: use a large powder brush or full fan face brush to lightly apply powder all over the face. To set under eye area, use a small fluff brush or a blending sponge to lightly tap and press powder for crease proof long lasting wear. Okay, so I'm just going to tap some in the lid. It does look like there's like a slight color to it. If anything, it looks like the same shade as the Laura Mercier translucent powder. So I am just going to use this for my under eyes, and then I'll use the pressed powders to set my face. So I'm just going to go in underneath, make sure there's no creases. Like I said, there's not really a lot of creases on my under eye, but definitely on my lid. And then I'm going to use my Morphe M536. This is my favorite brush to set my under eyes. Tap in there. A lot of the times, like, loose powders kind of like darken up my under eyes. So I don't really, it's like I go in with a loose powder and then I just have to go in with like a brightening powder on top. Like maybe that's normal, I don't know. But that does feel really soft, and I really like how it made my under eye look. Even though it is, I do feel like it kind kind of darkened my under eye a little bit. So I'll probably go in with a lighter powder to brighten it back up. But it did make my under eyes look really nice and soft, like it said. Ooh, I feel like it blurred out my under eye. I would definitely consider using this all over my face to set my foundation, but I want to try those other powders, so I'm not going to do that today. But it did leave like a blurring effect, which I don't think I've noticed from any other powders I've tried before. Hopefully you can see what I'm talking about, but I feel like it really did just blur out my under eye. I think it looks pretty good. So the last thing I'm going to be trying out is the No Filter Sheer Pressed Powders. I have two shades right here, fair and medium. These retail for $9. There's 6 shades. It says, get easy on the go, fresh and flawless skin with this oil absorbing sheer buildable pressed powder compact. Sheer tinted for fair skin tones. This is 4.5 stars out of 395 reviews. It says weightless natural matte sheer pressed powder reduces shine and blurs imperfections in a convenient on-the-go compact ultra fine powder blends seamlessly onto bare skin over foundation or as a touch-up without creasing or caking. It also says it was photo tested to never flashback. Application tips to wear alone. Oh, okay. Over bare skin, use a large powder brush for sheer buildable coverage. So is this a foundation powder? To set foundation, use a large powder brush or full fan face brush to apply powder all over face. For a more precise application, use the small fluff brush to target smaller areas. So this is shade fair and this is medium. So I think I'm going to set my face with the medium shade and then maybe use the fair shade to brighten up my under eyes. We'll see. And I'm using this IT Brushes for Ulta powder brush. I saw people like swirling powder on their skin and I don't know how they do it because I feel like whenever I try to swirl powder, I feel like I'm moving the foundation. Yeah, I don't know if I could do the whole swirling thing. Let me know how you guys set your foundation. Do you swirl or press? Because I feel like swirling just feels so wrong. And I still feel really sticky, but I don't want to like pile on a bunch of powder. I'll just have to be like extra careful when I apply my bronzer. But I do feel like this powder did blur out my skin as well. I could just feel extra sticky too because I did use 2 like super moisturizing primers. So now I'm going to go in with the shade Fair very lightly just to see if I can brighten up my under eyes. Can you guys tell a difference? I feel like I can't. Like it might have got a smidge brighter, but it still pretty much looks the same. But so far, I like every single one of these products, which is crazy because like I said, I know I've tried that concealer before. I've used half a tube, but it looks really good with this foundation. I love this loose powder. Oh my goodness. And like pressed powders, I can like give or take. Like I have yet to find a pressed powder that I'm like, ugh, amazing, you know? So this is what my skin looks like up close. It looks really nice and like poreless and airbrushed and the whole shebang. Like it looks really nice. I bet this photograph's amazing too. Cause like in person, my skin looks so airbrushed. It's crazy. So it's 3:21 right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and make that the call time. I'm gonna finish up the rest of my makeup and I'll be back to let you guys know how everything applied. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys everything that's on my face. So for bronzer, I used my Bare Minerals Invisible Bronzer. This is in the shade medium. To contour, I used my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette and I just used the light and medium contour shades mixed and then I applied it. For highlighter, I used my Ofra highlighter in the shade Rodeo Drive. And then for blush, I used MAC Melba. For my eye look, I'm really happy with how this turned out. And like, that always happens to me when I don't film it. But I feel like this is like a really wearable toned down smoky eye that you don't need to wear false lashes with, because I feel like whenever I do like dark eyeshadow, I feel like I have to use false lashes or it just doesn't look complete. But I really like how this turned out. I used my Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette, and I just took a mixture of henna, sandalwood, and cocoa. Then on the lid I used the shade Dubai, which is like a really pretty kind of like metallic bronzy green shade. Gorgeous. Like, look at this. It's so pretty. So I used that. Oh, and then for my waterline, I took this IBY Beauty Gold Brown eyeliner, which is like the perfect match to my Dubai lid shade. For lips, I used Lancome Ideal Lip Liner. This is one of my favorite lip liners. And then on top of that, I just used this Dior Lip Maximizer. This is a lip plumper, and it's in the shade 12. So I just used that today. To set my face, I used my Morphe setting spray. For brows, I used this Benefit Ka-Brow pomade stuff. This is in the shade 1. To set them, I used my Maybelline Brow Precise Fiber Volumizer. So I did notice this foundation looked good. See, you can see it starting to get back into that forehead crease I have right there. And I've been like, when I was applying the rest of my foundation, I had to stop in between and take my concealer brush and like buff out these creases. Like, you should have seen all the creases around my nose. So I definitely think less is more with this foundation for my dry skin. Like my cheeks, my neck, my chin, everything looks really good. Except for like around my nose, around my lips, and then on my forehead. I feel like I need to use less product, but I think I did end up using what, like 6 to 8 pumps of foundation, which is like way too much. So I think the next time I use this foundation, I definitely just need to use like maybe 2 pumps and then the concealer and call it a day, because like I don't like how it's getting kind of, I wouldn't necessarily say cakey, but it's getting creasy like around here and here. So, which is weird considering I'm pretty sure it said the pressed powder is supposed to prevent creases, but yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and get off here, and then I'll be back to see you guys for my first check-in in about 4 hours. I feel like I look like somebody. Who is it? Who is it that is a singer that has bangs like this? He's from like the 70s or something. Oh, I can't think of it, but he has bangs like this. I cannot think of his name, but that's what I feel like. But I don't like my forehead, and I feel like whenever I leave my hair curly like this, if I straighten my bangs, it just looks weird. Like, I feel like I have to leave them curly, but then I don't like how, like, I just feel like it needs something like on my forehead. I don't know, you guys. I'm always like a mess, it seems like, on this channel. Like, I can't seem to ever get myself together. But yeah, I guess I'm just gonna leave my bangs like this for now. We'll see. We'll see. But I did bust out the smallest wand in the Bellamy 5-in-1 hair curler. If you guys remember that thing, that was like the thing to buy a couple years ago. But I used the teeny tiny one, and I made these little curls, and then I just kind of took some random pieces and did that as well. And I was thinking, I was like, oh my gosh, I should do this all over my entire head, but I feel like that would take forever, because I feel like I'd have to take little tiny pieces like this and do it. But I don't know, I kind of want to, because I think it might be kind of cute to have like super short curly hair. I don't know, I might do it, we'll see. But anyway, so let's talk about this foundation. It is 7:39. So I've had this foundation on for 4 hours. So I just kind of want to look at it. I kind of already know how I feel. And what the heck? So there's little white specks all over my chin. That's weird. I wonder if it's from the setting spray. I've never seen that before. Let's see if I can buff it out with a concealer brush. So it looks like I can get rid of it with the concealer brush. I wonder what that is. That's weird. So I did notice that I've had to kind of buff out this foundation around my nose, my forehead, and around my mouth because it was getting like cakey. So I think for us dry skin people, less is more with this foundation, which is probably, I went overboard. We all know I went overboard. I used like 8 pumps of foundation when clearly we didn't need to, but that's because I was trying to like mix everything together to get my shade. So I messed up. So I think I could do my entire face with a sponge with probably, I think I'd be comfortable with 2 pumps and then use a full coverage concealer. So 8 pumps is like too much. I think that 2 to 3 pumps would still give me full coverage, and if not, like I said, I could just use a full coverage concealer. I don't know, I feel like whenever I film these videos I repeat myself like 500 million times, so hopefully it's not as annoying as it sounds. But anyways, other than that, like I think it looks really nice on my cheeks. I have 0 complaints on my cheek area, neck, everything. Like I have no complaints. The only thing is it's hard for me to figure out my shade, but once I figure out my shade on how many drops I need to do of these 3, I think that I will really enjoy this foundation. And again, I'm definitely going to do the whole less is more like around this area because it's just like too much for me. But other than that, I think it looks really nice, and I think it's going to last a long time. Like I think I'm gonna still be really happy with it at the end of this 10 hours. So it does photograph really nice too. I went to go take a thumbnail for this video. One of these days I'm gonna figure out my lighting and why every time I turn this way it goes dark, or why sometimes it's like warm light and then cool light when I have the same light the whole time. But anyways, I just try to zoom you guys in to show you my skin, and the lighting totally just like, I don't know what's going on. So let me see if I can just sit up closer so you can see it. Let's see. What is going on? Something totally weird is happening. I might have to do a close-up on my next check-in because like something weird's happening, but I just wanted you guys to see what it looks like. So I'll be back to see you guys again for my 8-hour check-in. So I'm back for my 8-hour check-in. It's 11:30 right now. So I think, I mean, I've been taking care of a baby this whole time, but I tried to peek in the mirror and look, and I do feel like a little oily on my forehead, which I'm just assuming it's because of my bangs. And I'm gonna look up close so I can see everything else. So I'm definitely gonna powder my forehead. My nose feels a little oily. This actually feels pretty dry, which is weird. And then like right here. But everything else still looks really good. I really don't need to powder my nose either. Ooh. Okay. It's actually starting to break up on my upper lip, and right underneath my nose looks so bad. Hopefully you can see this. It's breaking up and getting all like patchy and weird all around here. But whenever I use like foundations and powders, I never know if it's the foundation or it's the powder that's breaking up. I can never tell. So I'm not really sure what's going on. So just to set my forehead a little bit, I'm going to use the No Filter Sheer Press Powder in the shade Medium. It's always like so satisfying whenever it's like kind of oily and then you hit it with powder and it's gone. So I'm just going to go ahead and run it over my whole forehead and just a little on my nose. That should be good. Yeah, oh god. Ew, if you guys could see my nostrils right here. But that is this whole area right here. I did tell you guys I put way too much foundation. Like it seems like the side of my face, my forehead can handle that much product, but not here. That looks so bad. I'm gonna see if I can take a picture of it and then insert it so you can see it. Yikes. I actually had like high hope for this foundation, which I still don't hate it just yet. I just don't like it right there. And I think the foundation by itself is fine. I almost think what screwed up my makeup was these guys. These sheer pressed powders. I think that might be the problem. So maybe these guys would just, I don't know, I would say maybe just throw them in my purse and then use them throughout the day in case I get oily. We'll see how they look, I guess, when I come back in 2 hours. We'll see how it looks on my forehead after I reapplied it, and then maybe that will give me an idea if it's the powders that did this or the foundation. So I'm going to go ahead and hop off here, try to get some stuff done. Oh, I'm losing my mind, people. But anyways, I'll see you guys back here with my final check-in in about 2 hours. Hey guys, so I'm back with my final check-in. It's 2:13. So I've had this on for about 10 hours. No, 11 hours actually, right? 11 hours. So I just wanted to do a quick review over all 3 products. So it pretty much just looks the exact same. Oh my god, these cats will be the death of me. No, Hazel. So my forehead still looks good. It doesn't look like it got any more oily after I powdered. This still looks rough. I guess it does look like there's a little bit of oil coming right through here. Oh my gosh, I don't even know. But it's not like terrible. And if you've seen it in my other foundation first impressions, if I put powder on certain foundations, I usually have to powder every hour on the hour, and then sometimes I don't have to. I can just powder once and then I'm good. But in this case, I would definitely have to powder again for sure if I wanted to wear this any longer. So this right here, everything else still looks the same from when I saw you guys. So let's go ahead and go over just like everything. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so let's talk about the foundation first. I actually like this foundation. Like I said, however many hours ago, I think once I can nail down how many drops of this one and this one that I need to get my perfect shade, I think that I will definitely appreciate this foundation a lot more. Or when I finally lose this tan completely and I can just use one shade all over my face. So I do like the foundation. I definitely think for dry skin, less is more. I cannot stress that enough. I think less is more, hence why this looks cakey and just kind of eh. I think less is more. So I learned my lesson for that. Then we have the concealer, and like I told you guys at the beginning, I haven't used this in a really long time, and to me that's because I don't remember really liking it, but this was bomb on top of this foundation. And I mean, they're supposed to go together, but this was bomb on top of that foundation, so I'm going to leave this on my desk so I can like use it some more the rest of this week because now I really like it. I don't know, it's weird. Then I think my favorite thing from this whole no filter collection though is actually the setting powder, the loose setting powder. I really, really, really like this, and I kind of wish they had a bigger container of it, kind of like the size of the Laura Mercier translucent powder. Because this was like super lightweight. I really liked how it made my under eyes look. It kind of like blurred them out and it didn't darken them too much. So I really like this, and I think the next shade up was like a banana shade and then like a darker shade, but I wish they would come out in like shades that would match these foundations, because like I know it says translucent, but I can't be the only one, but most translucent powders are not translucent on me. Like they either light my foundation or you can see kind of like a white cast, like, so I'm like in denial that a translucent powder is actually translucent. But anyways, it would be nice to have a setting powder like this the same shade as the foundation, because I think this would be beautiful all over the skin because it made all of this look amazing. So I love this stuff. The thing that I would not recommend are these no filter pressed powders. I don't really use pressed powders anyways, unless I'm going to be gone or I'm doing foundation first impressions. I'll throw one in my purse in case I need a powder if I'm going to be gone all day, or if I'm doing a video like this, then I will powder throughout the video to let you guys know how the foundation is holding up. But again, since I don't really use these like probably as much as some of you or some other people, I just don't really like them. Again, I don't really have a favorite pressed powder anyways, because they're not something that I typically really use. And off the top of my head, my favorite high-end one, if I'm just thinking about it right now, is the Too Faced Poreless one, I think is what it is. It feels like butter. And then my favorite drugstore one would probably be the Rimmel Stay Matte. But other than that, I don't really have an opinion about pressed powders or anything, but I did think it was interesting that it said that you could use this on bare skin. but I don't know if I'm going to try that. But yeah, out of all of this, I would probably pass on these, honestly, unless pressed powders are something that you like. So anyways, that's the end of this video testing out the Colourpop No Filter foundation, concealer, pressed powder, and loose powder. Let me know if you guys have tried any of these products in the comments below and what you think and what your skin type is. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and please don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this foundation, powder, concealer, and loose powder first impression, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!